On August 9, 1974, Richard Nixon delivered his final resignation speech. In his exit from the world stage, he returned to a strange, specific detail: his family's poverty and his father's failing lemon ranch back in California. That lemon ranch was the cornerstone of his political identity. His career functioned on the constant friction between a hard-working outsider and a perceived elite. To see how that identity was weaponized, we have to look back to 1945. In California's 12th district, the traditional Republican establishment was paralyzed. They were completely unable to defeat the popular Democratic incumbent, Jerry Voorhees. This failure of the traditional party apparatus created a power vacuum. It left the door open for outsiders to step in and hijack the electoral process. Enter the Committee of 100. A group of frustrated local businessmen who bypassed official party politics entirely. Because they were corporate salesmen, they treated politics like a product launch. They literally took out newspaper advertisements, looking for a candidate they could sell to the public. Out of those auditions emerged a young Navy veteran named Richard Nixon. He was studious, he grew up poor, and he harbored a deep resentment for the establishment. This partnership between corporate salesmen and a resentful outsider created the blueprint for a new kind of American political machine. The psychology of this campaign was set years earlier during Nixon's time at Whittier College. Frustrated that the school's social club was reserved for the wealthy, Nixon founded the Orthogonians, a society specifically for working-class underdogs. The Committee of 100 took that underdog identity and weaponized it. They positioned Nixon as the little man, standing up to Voorhees, painted as a disconnected Washington elite. They built a fiercely loyal, decentralized ground game around this narrative. At the center was Pat Nixon. She sold her own inheritance to buy campaign brochures and spent her evenings managing grueling House meetings with voters. This experience solidified Nixon's reliance on a tight, uncompromising inner circle. He realized a winning campaign could bypass party bosses entirely if loyalty within the room was absolute. Drawing on rigorous analytical debate training he learned as a child from his father, Nixon turned the 1946 congressional debates into an ambush. His team bombarded local papers with rapid response ads, explicitly tying Voorhees to political action committees that they claimed were linked to the Communist Party. The strategy culminated on a live debate stage. Nixon theatrically waved a piece of paper right in Voorhees' face, claiming it was proof of a communist endorsement. Voorhees took the bait and overreacted, losing his composure in front of the audience. The campaign proved that aggressive, theatrical fear-mongering could successfully shatter a seemingly unbeatable incumbent stronghold. California's cross-filing rule allowed a single candidate to run in multiple party primaries simultaneously. Nixon's team exploited it, creating Democrats for Nixon. By flooding the district with misleading mailers, thousands of Democrats voted for him. He won both primaries and skipped the general election entirely. Divorcing the candidate from the party platform created a pure, candidate-centric model. The election became a referendum on Nixon's personal brand rather than Republican ideology. When Nixon arrived in Washington, he brought this exact playbook with him. He knew from his own experience that his aggressive, highly personal campaign style was more effective than traditional GOP methods. Throughout the 1950s, he scaled these tactics up. He relied on rigorous debate preparation, leaned heavily into extreme anti-communist fear tactics, and demanded absolute loyalty from his staff. By 1968, Nixon and his team expanded the Democrats for Nixon illusion into a nationwide coalition. They called it the silent majority, and it propelled him straight into the White House. A localized strategy engineered by businessmen in Whittier, California, had successfully captured the presidency by weaponizing the grievances of overlooked voters. By 1972, Nixon's inner circle lived in extreme isolation. These men mirrored the original Committee of 100. They were fiercely loyal to the man, but entirely disconnected from institutional or legal accountability. This win-at-all-costs mentality fueled a culture of intense paranoia within the administration. That paranoia led directly to the illegal operations of the Watergate break-in. The exact traits that made him an unstoppable campaigner, his suspicion of elites, and his demand for blind loyalty, translated into a paranoid and deeply flawed presidency. His legacy stands as proof that a machine built on grievance and blind loyalty to an outsider eventually consumes itself.